Hello, my name is Katharine Gray. I'm the founder and director of Friends First. Today I want to talk to you about a very important topic, and that's the topic of conversation. It's a skill in dating that we all need if we're going to date successfully. It's something that doesn't come easily to a lot of people, but it is something that can be learned. And if you don't find conversation easy, then this is going to be a great video for you, I hope. And as I say, it is a skill that can be learned. Now, most dates start off with a bit of small talk. Small talk is just talking about things that are out there, that are not about you, that are maybe in the news, or just that aren't big subjects like religion or politics. They're just very easy, very unjudgmental topics to get the conversation going. And it's important that you've got a little bit of small talk up your sleeve when you first are going dating and first meeting people. Now, if conversation and small talk doesn't come easy to you, then it's something that you need to think about. As I said, it's a skill you can learn, and it's something that you can prepare in advance. So let's imagine you're going on a date, or even you're ringing somebody up for the first time. You've had their details, somebody's introduced you, and you've had their details, and you're going to be speaking to them on the phone for the first time. You need to be able to keep the conversation going. So my advice is to prepare in advance a whole load of topics that you can talk about in case the conversation dries up and you need to move it on to the next stage. So let's think about all those things. So what's been in the news recently? You could turn the radio on, listen to a news programme, buy yourself a newspaper, find out what all the topics are, find the things that interest you and bring those up. You could talk about your hobbies, things you like doing in your life. You could talk about your church, what's happening in your church, what is being studied in the sermons, what your church is like and who comprises it. You could talk about the most interesting things about your job. Now, all of these subjects, and I'll mention some more in a minute, are things that you want to be able to talk about yourself, but more importantly, ask the other person questions about as well. Because remember, it's not all about you. You want a two-way conversation here. Perhaps you could talk about the things that are happening in the time of year that it is, whether there's a festival on, or it's a holiday time, or whether it's a special feast day. You could talk about that and how those events are making you feel, what you're needing to do to prepare for them, what you're doing to celebrate them. I think we've already mentioned holidays and hobbies. Radio is a good thing. What's been on the radio recently that you've been listening to, or radio programs that you like listening to. What about podcasts or films and television? There's always so much to talk about in terms of films that you've seen, films that are trending at the moment on whatever your favourite platform is. They're great things to spark off a conversation with somebody. So it doesn't matter what the subject is. The important thing is that you've thought about it in advance and you've got 5 or 6 topics up your sleeve that you can have an introductory question that you can ask the other person what they think about such and such, and then they can ask you back. And if you have 5 or 6 of those, you won't find any difficulty in starting a conversation. The point here is to keep it fairly general, non-judgmental, not too deep, quite light-hearted. And the aim is to allow the other person to show themselves to you. Now, as I said before, this is a skill, but it's something you can practice. And if you're not very good at it, then the other thing to do, apart from practicing it and preparing in advance, is to watch people who are really good at it. Watch them closely and see how they conduct their conversations, because you can learn a lot from people who are very skilled at doing it. So I hope that's helpful. If you're not good at conversation, it's definitely a skill you need to brush up on. And I want to give you the assurance that you can do it with a bit of practice, like everything. It just takes a little practice and you can master it. That's all for today. If you want any help with how to start a great conversation, we can definitely give you some coaching advice on that. If you want people to talk to and you're looking for a date, that's what we do. We can introduce you to lots of other single Christians looking for a long-term partner like you are. Please give us a ring on 0208 088 3023. Thank you. Goodbye.